Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. My name is Carolyn Passmore and I am the owner of CRP Specialists Inc. and Bookkeeping is Fun LLC. CRP Specialists is my company where we do provide profit strategies specializing in nonprofit organizations and the trades to ensure that their books are ready to be sent to their tax preparers. Of course, we will help anyone who does need help, because with my other company, Bookkeeping is Fun, is where I coach those who are learning bookkeeping and help them to overcome the fear of gaining clients and give them the experience to gain confidence not only in themselves but in their bookkeeping skills. And I do this by giving them an opportunity to learn in a supervised live environment of actual books rather than just that learning environment that they get in those courses where they get that cookie cutter environment of learning. So today I am really excited to talk to you about something that can make a real difference in your bottom line. And that's tax deductions for those in the skilled trades. Now, whether you're a plumber, electrician, carpenter, or any other tradesperson, this information is for you. So let's start with common tax deductions that you might be missing out on. Now, first there's tools and equipment. Every wrench, drill, or specialized tool that you buy for work is potentially deductible. So make sure that you are keeping track of those expenses. Now, work clothes and safety gear. Now, if it's required for your job and not suitable for everyday wear, remember, keep that in mind. This is very, very important. If it is required for your job and not something that you would wear every day and that you can wear just every day, then it is probably deductible. This includes steel-toed boots, hard hats, and protective eyewear. Those are things that you're not going to wear commonly just on an everyday basis. So these are things that are deductible for business. Now, vehicle expenses. If you use your personal vehicle for work, you make sure that you are tracking your mileage. You need to use an application that you are tracking your mileage. Now, this is making sure that you're tracking not only your business mileage, but your personal mileage so that you are able to track and deduct the personal mileage from the business mileage. So this is very, very important that is something that I make sure that you're documenting those personal miles and the business miles, not just the business miles, because you must deduct the business miles from those personal miles so that it's all documented, so that there is documentation of every mile that's used on that personal vehicle, so that in the end you can then pull out those business miles and show, okay, this is personal miles and this is business miles, and then you'll deduct what is higher from your taxes, whether that is mileage or actual expenses, because whichever is higher, if you have had a lot of expenses for your vehicle, if you had to do a lot of big expenses on your vehicle, you had to replace the transmission, that's going to be a high expense. So if that is something that you had to do during the year and that becomes a higher deduction than your mileage, your business mileage, then that's the deduction you're going to take on your taxes that year. So those are the two things that you need to make sure that you're weighing whichever is highest for your vehicle expenses. If you use a personal vehicle for work. Then there's your home office. If you have a dedicated space at home that you use for paperwork and planning, that could be deductible as well. Remember, I said it is a dedicated space at home that you use. It cannot be something that the children use for their homework or that your wife also uses. It must be a dedicated space that is at home, that is specifically for your business. Remember, that is Very important. Now, then there's continuing educations. These are courses to improve your skills or maintain certifications. These are often deductible as well. And of course, there's insurance premiums. This includes business liability insurance, and sometimes health insurance premiums are even deductible. So now we're going to talk about how to document these deductions properly. It is really simpler than you might think. First, and most importantly, keep all of your receipts. A shoebox will work. It is not really the preferred method, but it will work. A digital application is really the most and best way to keep all of your receipts. There are applications out there that you take your receipt, you snap a picture, it will upload, it will recognize all of the information from that receipt, and it'll take all of that information from the receipt, and it'll just magically take all that information and say, oh, look, it's the date and where it's from and how much that is. Amazing what technology will do today. So really, it's not that hard to keep all of your receipts in a digital application these days. So really, to your benefit, to make an effort and keep all of your receipts in a digital application. Then, of course, as I said earlier, log your mileage if you are using your personal vehicle for work. There are multitude of applications that you can have on your phone. I use an application that literally, I jokingly call it the dating app for mileage, where I get in my car, and when I get home, I either swipe right for personal or left, or I don't know my right from my left for personal, right for business. So that is really as simple as it can be, and that's the way that that I keep track of my mileage. And it doesn't have to be complicated, but that's what I use as far as mileage. But there's a lot of different applications out there for mileage, and it just at the end of each month, it gives you a report of how many personal miles and how many business miles that you have run each month. The beginning of each year, you document the mileage on your vehicle, and that's how you do your taxes every year. So really not that complicated when it comes to your mileage, and you're keeping track of how many miles you've done with your personal vehicle. So it really makes sense to use one of these applications for mileage. Then, as far as for home office deductions, you just measure the space that is used exclusively for work, and in comparison to the whole house, and that's the percentage of your space that is used, as I said, exclusively for work. That's the home office deduction is based upon that percentage of your home used exclusively for work. So, if you're not sure if something is deductible, make sure you're keeping that receipt anyways. It's better to have it and not need it than to not have it and need it. That is really what it's all about. So here's just a few tips to maximize your deductions. Plan your big purchases. If you need new equipment, consider buying before the tax year ends. That is really very important. Make sure that you're always taking consideration that if you need those big purchase of new equipment, that if you want to make that big tax deduction, make that purchase right before your tax year ends. And don't forget about depreciation for larger items. Consult your tax your tax expert for that, because your depreciation is very important. Keep business and personal expenses separate. Make sure that you have a separate bank account and credit card for all work expenses. Stay organized throughout the year. It is much easier than scrambling around at tax time. And it definitely benefits you to have everything put aside in an accounting system rather than running around with a big giant shoebox of receipts and taking it to your tax preparer. It definitely will save you a lot of money because that tax preparer is going to charge you a lot to have your taxes prepared with bank statements and a box full of receipts, rather than taking your accounting financial statements to them, knowing that someone has prepared your financials professionally rather than that box full of receipts and bank statements. Now, consider making estimated tax payments to avoid penalties. Now, this is based upon some information that you would get from your tax preparer, of course, depending on what your previous year's taxes were. So that's something that you would want to discuss with your tax preparer. So if you're ready to maximize your tax deductions, let me know. Just as a quick recap, know what those tax deductible tools, vehicle expenses, home office, education, and insurance are. Deduct everything, keep receipts and logs, plan your purchases, and stay organized. And remember, every dollar you deduct is a dollar less you're taxed on. That can add up to significant savings. So here at CRP Specialists, we understand the unique needs of tradespeople that, like you. Our professional bookkeeping services can help you to stay on top of those deductions year-round, ensuring that you don't miss out on any savings. We can also assist with financial planning and helping you to make smart decisions for your business's future. So why not take advantage of our free consultation? We'd be happy to answer any questions and discuss how we can help you to keep more of your hard-earned money. Don't leave money on the table. Let's work together to maximize your deductions and maximize that tax bill. So thank you for tuning in today. And remember, smart financial management is just as important of a tool in your kit as any wrench or hammer. So let us manage your money while you manage your business. I hope you all have an amazing day.